Hello again, this is Caleb Crisp, and today we have the LG 29 UM58 Ultrawide monitor. Now what's great about this monitor is it boasts LG's ultra-wide full HD, which is 2560 by 1080, which is going to be really good for playing video games as long as its response time is fast enough, which we're going to be checking later on in the video. And of course, as long as its colors are good. But it does boast, I believe, 99% of the Adobe color range or something like that, so we should be able to get pretty much everything on here. Also, it is a 21 by 9 form factor, so normal monitors have a have an aspect ratio that's it varies, but sometimes they're more square, some are more rectangular in nature. Well, this one's very rectangular in nature. It's 21 by 9, which is going to be much wider. Now that's really going to be good for watching movies and playing video games, and perhaps editing as well, provided you have perhaps a dedicated monitor just for your 1080p output, like I do, which we'll be checking later on. But the reason this will be great for watching movies is because films are actually shot, generally, with a 21 by 9 aspect ratio, which is why when you watch a movie that's full 1080p and widescreen, you still have those bars at the top and the bottom. If you watch it on this monitor, theoretically, there will be no bars and you will still be getting the full picture. You'll have the full, it'll be perfect. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right into the unboxing and then we'll test it out. I'll grab the handy dandy X-Acto knife and let's go ahead and get started. This may very well be the dullest X-Acto knife I've ever used. But then again, I've only used like maybe 4 X-Acto knives in my entire life. Here we go. Special thanks to my cousin over there, not only manning the camera but allowing me to use his basement for recording, because my current setup is packed up and on the move. So I'm probably opening this in the worst way possible, but whatever. This is interesting. Alright. Oh god, I'm so bad at this. Alright. So what do we have here? We've got... Oh good, it comes with some cables. That's nice. This is why I prefer authentic Scottish broadswords when I'm unboxing things. They're much better, for hacking through the bone. Alright. Nice, it comes with an HDMI cable, which is great because I don't know if we have a spare HDMI 1.3 port line, cable line around, and we need that for the 2560 by 1080 form factor. And let's go ahead and take off this. We'll go and get this set up. Alright. So there's the monitor itself. Now, we're going to not read the directions, because directions are for silly people. We're just going to wing it. We're just going to wing it. Yeah. Quite pretty looking. Look at that. That is nice. We'll do a size comparison between this and other monitors in a moment, and look at how pretty that back is. Check that out. And we've got 2 HDMI ports. Now, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is that this monitor actually boasts a split screen capabilities, which means that I can put a computer in right here in this one and have half the screen display my computer, put another one in right here, another HDMI, and have half the screen display that. So you could be doing 2 things at once from 2 different machines, which is super duper cool. Anyway, so let's go and get back to the assembly. Alright, so using the power of movie magic, I told you I was not going to read the instructions, whereas in reality I did, in fact, read the instructions. And since we have now assembled it, I'm going to now set it up, and as we can see, it is quite pretty, if I say so myself. And in just a second we get to do my favorite part of any assembly, and that is peeling off the plastic. Here we go. So here we are. Ooh yeah. Isn't that just the most satisfying thing on the face of the freaking planet? And of course we gotta get this area right here. And then there is one on the front. So here we have my cousin playing The Witcher 3
with his test bench wired into the new monitor, which is of course is 29 inches diagonal, 2560 by 1080, as I've said many times before. But anyway, on his test bench we have a 6-core AMD processor, a GTX 970, two 240 gig SSDs, and 8 gigs of RAM. Now we're getting a consistent in between 40 and 50 FPS in The Witcher 3 with everything on Ultra or High if it can't go to Ultra, as well as NVIDIA Hairworks set to Geralt. Now I've played this game at home using this monitor as well, and at home I get a consistent 60 FPS running it through a 970 with the same settings, and the only difference really being is that I have 12 gigs of RAM and a Intel i7 powering my computer. So what bottlenecking we're getting is from the CPU, I believe, and not actually from the graphics card, which is kind of odd. But anyway, if you have an i5 or an i7, you're definitely cool to run this at a consistent 60 FPS as long as you have the graphics card to match it. Now let's go ahead and go through and just look at some of this gameplay here. As you can see, the game looks absolutely beautiful in this 21:9 aspect ratio. And weirdly enough, I just cannot properly explain how larger this monitor looks in real life than in this video. Now, I would not recommend getting the 25-inch because it just seems too small, but this one definitely makes up for having like a 2-monitor setup. What I currently have in my room, which I'll show a picture of, is I've got this monitor set up with a 1080p monitor that's, I believe, 22 inches right beside it, and eventually I want to have it hung right above. And so that'll be great for video editing or gaming, because you can have like a game on the big monitor, occasionally Alt-Tab and do some web searches up in the other one, or if you're editing video, have the full Final Cut timeline or Premiere timeline going on the big 29-inch ultra-wide, and having it do a 1080p output to the 1080p monitor directly above. Well, 1920 by 1080, not 2560 by 1080. But as you can see, this looks absolutely beautiful, and unfortunately, the only downside is that it does not come with built-in speakers. There is a model that does have it the same size, but it costs a bit more, and honestly, I think it's just better to use some speakers of your own. So if you want to jam out to the 1812 overture like I do all the time, you're going to have to get yourself some extra speakers, which I honestly recommend doing anyway. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I'll probably do some more videos on this monitor at some point, but that's going to be all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. Toodaloo!